Hello there, very good Saturday evening to all our viewers. Well, this is Primetime News, live and direct from our Newsfirst studios in Colombo. I'm Joel Outskoon. Let's start off today with a look at the headlines.
The President says the presidential election will not be held ahead of schedule. Former President commends statement made by the President. Sir Girimana Disanayakapura Girimana Project declared open. Garbage accumulates in several areas in Maharagama.
We start off the news with a look at our top story this evening. Now, President Maithripala Sirisena said that the presidential elections will be held in the scheduled date and not a single day ahead of the schedule. He said if an election is to be held before the scheduled date, the decision will be made by him.
The head of state made this statement at the Sri Lanka Freedom Party Central Balamandala meeting in Nivitigala, Ratnapura. A group of gentlemen from the Flowerbud Party staged a protest in Colombo just 3 days ago. The Flowerbud Party representatives say the protest was successful and it was a victory. The UNPers say the Flowerbud Party is bankrupt. The UNPers, the Flowerbud Party representatives, are overestimating the situation. Neither the Flowerbud Party nor the UNP can form a government without us. The Sri Lanka Freedom Party knows where we stand. Some are talking about the presidential election. Nobody has the right to speak about a presidential election. Only I can decide when the presidential election is going to be held. The elections will not be held even a single day before the scheduled day. The attention should be focused on the Prime Minister and not the President during the next election. Discussion should be held about who the next Prime Minister is going to be. The next Prime Minister should be someone who loves the country and who respects the culture of the country. He should know about the history of our country. The country needs a Prime Minister who is honest and free of fraud and corruption.
ජාත්‍යන්තර යුද අධිකරණ විදුලි පුටු විදේශ විනිශ්චයකාරවරු ඒවා ඔක්කොම මම අයින් කළා.
I have removed international military courts, electric chairs and foreign judges. I have removed all of this. I will speak before the United Nations on the 24th of this month. I will produce a new resolution to the UN and the UNHRC to remove the accusations against the armed forces, to remove the accusations of human rights violations, and as to how the government should carry out activities regarding the LTTE. This resolution that I produce will be criticized heavily, but I believe that we will be able to overcome a major challenge that we have after discussing matters with the relevant parties. The qualities of a good Prime Minister: should love the country, should respect the culture of the country, should know about the history of our country, should be honest, should be free of fraud and corruption. Do we have such a Prime Minister? Does the current Prime Minister possess these qualities?
Moving on with more news. Now, former President Mahinda Rajapaksa visited parliamentarian Johnston Fernando, who was taken into remand custody recently at the remand prison in Kegor.
Journalists questioned the former president about the statement made by President Maithripala Sirisena in Nivitigala.
මොකද මම අවුරුදු දෙකකට මෙහා තියලානේ වැඩේ වරද්දාගත්තේනේ. යා මං හිතන්නේ හොඳ මොලේ තියෙන වැඩක් කරන්නේ. අන්තිම දවසේ වෙනකන් ඉන්න එක.
Now, several views were expressed in the political arena about the statement made by Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe regarding the party leadership.
රටේ ජනතාවද කියන්නේ
The people of this country asked the Prime Minister to let go of his position. We presented a motion of no confidence against the Prime Minister to remove him from his position. Today, let alone the position of Prime Minister, he is not willing to give up the party leadership even. I think he is 70 years old now. What we see is that there will be no victories for the United National Party in the future elections. We can imagine what is going to happen to the UNP when the UNPers leave the party. We did not only speak about the leadership, we spoke about a complete reorganizing of the party. Party reorganizing is all about caring about the people and their survival, and also being considerate about the hardships they face. The party is getting younger day by day. If the experienced leaders decide that they should resign and hand this over to the youth, they will make that decision. It calculates up to 30 with the elections that were held from time to time. We have won elections just like we have lost them.
The Prime Minister, who wants to hold on to the party leadership till 2030, made the following remarks following the no-confidence motion brought against him in Parliament.
I have handed over certain responsibilities to a group of ministers to take the party forward as we are planning to create a new leadership in the party. We will appoint a group next week to reorganize the party. We're hoping to get everything done within a month.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, who deceived the UNPs and the backbenchers of the party following the victory of the no-confidence motion brought against him, now says that the party leadership may change after 2030.
The Girimana Girimana Project constructed in the Girimana area in Yatinuar was vested with the public today. The event was held under the patronage of the Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Minister of Housing and Construction, Sajid Premadasa.
This Udagammana village is the 118th model village constructed under the Alipividen Udagammana project. 25.1 million rupees has been spent for the construction of this village with 19 houses. The minister presented development land deeds worth 28.5 million rupees at the event. The minister also presented housing loans worth 21 million rupees and Sondurupiyasa loans worth 23.8 million rupees. In addition, the minister presented equipment for self-employment and he also presented eyeglasses. UNP parliamentarian Mayantha Disanayake, son of late Girimana Disanayake, presented a token of appreciation to Minister Sajid Premadasa for naming the Udagammana project under his late father's name.
Dikata Rangane Pradhana Nalua Ilanga political jokes natte mama nurata geenawai.
The main actor of the drama is now saying that the play Political Jokers will be brought to Kandy. When they were having races before the temple of the sacred tooth relic and when they had foreign dancers for a musical show that were held after the races. We are not sure whether they went to inform the Mahasangha of the three sects about this. Open your eyes and witness what will unfold in 2020. I believe that the people will take all the relevant decisions at the right time. I am only a minister. If I had more responsibility, a bigger spoon, I know how to do the work.
මට ලොකු හැන්දක් තිබුණා නම් මම දන්නවා කොහොමද වැඩේ කරන්න කියලා.
මගේ මව ශ්‍රීමා දිසානායක මැතිණිය දැන් ටිකක් වයෝවෘද්ධයි. එතුමිය මේ දවස්වල
My mother Srima Disanayake is now old. She is receiving treatment at a hospital. I went to her and told her that Sajid was coming to our electorate. She asked me what I was going to do with Sajid Premadasa. I said Sajid is helping us with a lot of houses. He's making a village under my father's name called the Girimana Disanayakapura and handing over 19 houses to the poor people. My mother was extremely happy.
ඒ නිවාස ලාභයින්ට අපි ඒ නිවාස ලබා දෙනවා. මම ගොඩක් සන්තෝෂ වුණා.
Moving on with more news this evening. Now, Minister of Social Empowerment P. Harrison, attending an event in Anuradhapura, spoke about the 16 SLFPers who joined the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna.
If they left the government, they should leave everything behind. Now they are facing a dilemma. Therefore, they will be roaming for another few more days and then go back and fall on Maithripala Sirisena's lap.
Well, still in news from the political sphere this evening. Now, UPFA MP Dilan Pereira commented on a media briefing in Padulla today.
The 16 people went and sat in the opposition, and before the 16, the 54 people also went with the permission of President Maithripala Sirisena as the president, as well as the leader of the alliance. Duminda Disanayake cannot change anything. He is not the general secretary. The current secretary cannot change it because he is not even a member of the SLFP. He is a member of the Communist Party. Duminda Disanayake is daydreaming. The parliamentarian also spoke about the recent rally that was held. There were errors in the coordination at this protest. They did not go in a disciplined manner when they were marching opposite the party head office. People in the buses asked us where to go. There was no proper meeting place. There were mistakes. We have to take note of these mistakes and carry out things, and that day is not far away. I think that President Maithripala will listen to the voice of this protest and create a new government before the next protest is held. Then Ranil Wickremesinghe will have to hold the protest.
Deputy Minister of Social Empowerment Ranjan Ramnaka convened a media briefing. Well, that was in Mathiwala.
විමල් වීරවංශ මහත්මයා අපේ මන්ත්‍රීතුමාට චෝදනා මොකක්ද චෝදනාව එක්ස්පයර් වෙච්ච කිරි පැකට් දුන්නා කියලා.
Vimal Veeravansa is accusing our MP of providing milk packets that were expired. We do not know whether he has expired milk packets in his house. As far as I know, there are expired birth certificates at his house. There are people who change their age by renewing their identity cards and passports. He has various tablets inside his house called Viagra. I think Vimal knows about expired milk more than anyone. If there is an inquiry about expired milk, I think Vimal should be appointed as the chairperson of that committee.
කමිටුවට විමල් මහත්තයාව අනිවාර්යෙන්ම අපි සභාපති කරන්න ඕනේ.
Well, now employees of the Maharagama Urban Council did not report to work today, objecting the alleged attack on a few employees by Maharagama Urban Council Chairman Tiraj Lakruan. Garbage dumps were seen in many parts of the city due to this issue.
I work for the health department of the Maharagama Urban Council. We were told not to report to work until the injured employees return to work. We don't know when they will be back. We have to start work on Monday. There's garbage everywhere in the city. The garbage is dumped everywhere because of the strike. It is them who will have to clean up all of this. If there is a problem, they should discuss it and solve it. This is a crime. They have been on strike for 3 days. It stinks because there is garbage everywhere. It was us who voted for them and appointed them to these positions.
Only the public health inspectors reported to work today at the Maharagama Urban Council.
There was a strike yesterday, and when I came today also, there is a strike. The problem has not been solved. The authorities should know not to burden the public. They have been appointed to ensure that. Yes, we appointed them. We didn't expect this to happen.
Attempts made by Newsfirst to contact Maharagama Urban Council Chairman Tiraj Lakruan to inquire into the issue were futile. He was not available when we visited his residence in Pannipitiya to inquire about the issue.
Employees of the Maharagama Urban Council have not reported to work owing to the problem that occurred day before yesterday. The trade community in Maharagama are highly inconvenienced by this. We request the chairman to ask for forgiveness if there has been an issue like this. There is no shame in that.
Addresses of the representatives of the Maharagama Urban Council are mentioned as follows. Isn't it the locals in Maharagama appointed these public representatives when an opportunity was given to elect and appoint a leader to represent them under the new electoral system?
There is no use in contesting for elections under symbols like tractor and motorcycles because nothing has ever been done. They don't do it, and we can't make them do it. The best remedy is to chase them away from their positions and elect a new set of people.
Well, now, Gamba, the teams have been going from village to village to listen to the problems of rural Sri Lankans. Well, this is the situation of Samasara in Arunaka, where tragedy struck several years ago.
Gamba, the door-to-door initiative.
We don't have money. When it rains, we go to a temple and they send us back when the rain stops. And when it rains again, even at 12 in the night, we have to leave our homes. Those who have vehicles can leave their homes. What about us then? We carry our children and walk in the rain. How are we going to carry 3 to 4 children and walk?
The people of Samasara spoke to the Gammada teams and revealed how they live their lives in sorrow and despair. Several families live below the mountain up to date with no place to go. The lack of proper housing, the collapse of the tea business and unemployment have battered these people over the years. Several people have been relocated in the Vasantagama village after the landslide, but they do not have employment. The people request that these problems be resolved. The residents of this village face issues due to the lack of clean drinking water. There is a tube well in this village, but the water that is obtained is not enough for 50 families that live here. The villagers say that a certain company set up this tank at a cost of 200,000 rupees, but that the company has failed to construct a water line to fill the tank. The residents of this village do not have proper sanitary facilities. They are facing severe economic problems as well. The people who live here have been brought into the village in 1991 as a result of the war. However, up to date, they have not received houses. They charge that they were promised many things, but those things have not been realized. There are 68 reported kidney patients in the village, and several of those patients have passed away. The Gammada team spent some time with the children in the village as well. These villagers charge that though many people were settled in these areas as a result of the war, those people have gone back because these villages lack the basic facilities. The lack of water is an issue in this village, and since there is no road system, the education and the employment of the residents of the village is under threat. This area is a colony of 6 villages in the region. The roads in this colony have not been constructed for over 40 years. The farmers who take their produce to the market have to face issues as a result of the broken roads. The students have to walk for several miles to reach their school, and the lack of teachers is another issue that the people here face. The 11-acre vava in the region is also filled up. The people living in this village only receive water for several hours a day. They are low-income earners and they do not have proper sanitary facilities. These people who are financially challenged charge that the authorities who enjoy luxuries do not look at the problems they face.
Gammada door-to-door initiative.
Well, on to a very interesting note now. Minister of Education Akila Viraj Karyavasam said decisions have been made to conduct educational activities using 3D technology. He made these statements while attending an event to declare open a building in the Puramandula Primary School in Girula.
We will overcome the shortage of teachers in another 6 to 7 months. Teachers don't go to certain areas in Northeast. We have decided to install a digital classroom in the main school in the Northeast and get a single teacher to teach students of 20 to 50 schools by connecting them using 3D technology at the same time based on their timetables. We are hoping to take 2 steps forward and provide education to these children.
Well, the Minister of Public Administration, Law and Order, Ranjit Madhumabandara, expressed these views during a ceremony which was held in Monaragala today.
Certificates were awarded for the youths who had undergone computer courses in the area under the Jatika Yonsavia program. Today, some people are using university students for their own political agendas, and universities have turned into torture houses. At least 3,000 university students have left universities as a result of unbearable ragging. We are currently making rules and regulations. There is a huge narcotic network today. I'm going to execute a program to prevent this network by establishing a committee with the police, divisional secretariat and religious places to save schools from this situation. A monk questioned me as to why this situation has spread in the country. I replied that we had a similar situation in the past, but in the past actions were not taken against narcotics. Ministers and politicians did these things.
Well, the Young Professionals Organization of the United National Party organized an event on free trade agreements and its benefits to the Sri Lankan economy at the Lakshman Kadrugama Institute yesterday. An economic advisor to the Ministry of Finance, Deshal Demel, expressed his views about FTAs at this event.
So what is the role of FTAs? Now, one thing you can do is, of course, bring down your tariffs. Say if this government decides to bring down tariffs, that is one thing. But you never know how that's going to change going forward, right? A future government or a future trade minister might have a very different intention in terms of the taxation policy. And then, so today your customs duty might be 15%. 1 year, 2 years down the line, might be brought up to 50%, and then that entire business model won't work, right? So what investors and traders really want is to have a certainty in terms of the trading environment and the investment climate that you're operating in. You want to know that if you're making an investment in a plant that's going to manufacture a component as part of a larger product, you want to know that 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, I'm likely to be playing in the same kind of tariff environment, the same kind of investment environment. So that is why FTAs really make a big difference. For Sri Lanka's future, if we want to go into new products, if we want to go into new kind of exports, new kind of technology and so on, it's essential that we move away from our current model of these end product based trade. We have to go into this dynamic value chain based trading structures, and that is where FTAs can really play a very important role. Can we move on?
The FTA would have to be very carefully crafted, because right now you have a stronger party and a weaker party, and we look like being the weaker party. So to do that, we got to have our safeguards. Issue is here with a thing called the negative list, where we have up to 7,000 to 8,000 goods that we have identified that should not be imported into the country on a free flow, because we are producing and we have the potential to produce the same items. And in today's business world or in free trade, you don't have the word protectionism, which is needed, and we need that more than anyone else. If the FTA is properly crafted, and if we are given the same reciprocity, where we can have the same advantages that they would have if we export to those markets. So the practicality is that you have non-tariff barriers and so many things that come in. Once you, okay, on paper is fine, but when you get to the brass tacks, you find this issue. Negotiators and the powers that be should clearly explain to the public what to expect. What you see is what you get. Now, you cannot have any hidden agendas. There should be a lot of awareness done at the grassroots first, because the grassroots should realize that they stand to gain. Now, you take our handicrafts industry, where we have what we manufacture very, very unique and would have an excellent place in a global market, and it is not known. So those would have a chance. You can see a lot of Chinese projects and Indian projects and so on. But remember that Sri Lanka is still a sovereign state, and at any time we should be able to exercise the rights of a sovereign state. So that should give the overall safety net and allay the doubts that we have.
Moving on with more news this evening. Now, Hannah Singer has assumed duties as the new UN Resident Coordinator and UNDP representative in Sri Lanka.
She presented her credentials to President Maithripala Sirisena as the new United Nations Resident Coordinator and United Nations Development Programme Resident Representative at his residence on Wednesday. As the most senior UN official in the country, Singer will lead the UN country team of 22 resident and non-resident UN agencies and act as the representative of the UN Secretary General in Sri Lanka. Prior to this appointment, Singer held several senior management positions in UNICEF offices across the world, including Associate Regional Director UNICEF Geneva, as well as country representative for UNICEF Syria, Nepal, Kazakhstan and Azerbaijan. Guided by the overarching strategy of the United Nations Sustainable Development Framework 2018 to 2022 and delivering as one, the UN in Sri Lanka aims to support the government of Sri Lanka to achieve peaceful, just, inclusive and equitable development, with a special focus on leaving no one behind and reaching the furthest behind first.
Well, the grand Taro festival of the Nallur Kandasamy Kovil began today. Both local and foreign devotees attended this event.
Several pujas were carried out at the Kandasamy Kovil in Nallur in line with the Taro festival. Amidst the large gathering of devotees, the statue of the god of Kataragama was placed on the Taro. We've seen a large number of devotees coming here to engage in religious activities. The water cutting ceremony will be held tomorrow, which marks the conclusion of this event.
Well, we'll start off with some sports now. Well, the Sri Lankan netball team went through in the finals of the Asian Netball Championships. Sri Lanka beat Hong Kong 55-46. Well, while wishing all the very best for the netball team while they take part in the finals, it's time for us to wrap this edition. Thank you very much for stopping by. Well, here's a reminder, if you missed out on any of the stories, you could simply log on to our award-winning website, which is www.newsfirst.lk. Well, with that, we'll leave you tonight. Thank you for stopping by. I'm Joel Outskoon. Take care. Good night.